Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Norm's Friends. I'm David B., the readings guy. 603-404-9338. biffit@yahoo.com. Lucky me. Again, we have the illustrious, fantastic, wonderful, most famous local artist you could ever imagine. Tell them who you are.
I'm Norm. I reincarnated. I'm Anthony Williams. I'm a local artist here in town. And I just enjoy art and enjoy coming on the show and talking about it and showing my work. And that's about it.
That's it? And how do they get it? Hey, do you still, before we get it going here, is that, you still in the thing in Bedford? Is that still going?
Yeah, no, it ended.
Oh, no.
It was only 11 days, or 9 days. And the next one will be in October. I was hoping one of my friends would have bought something, but
Well, that's why, you know, I had got so much stuff going on. And it was like, I just thought of it yesterday. I go, oh, no.
sure.
That's why I was hoping it was still going on.
Well, he's a Democrat at heart, so he can't help it.
Right, I'm woke or communist. I'm anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
Anti-art.
Anti-art.
Right, anti-art. Artphobic. Autophobic. I'm an
Artophobic.
artophobic.
Artophobia. Just got it.
Right, that's me. I forgot all about it, but I had all this stuff going on, so. But anyway,
Well, you want me to bring some cards in next time I'm on?
yeah,
I got brand new stuff.
yeah.
I sent
Bring
it to
some.
you. Did you even look at it?
I did look at it.
Yeah. And you said, the heck with that, old man.
Right, I have the guitars already, the guitar one.
You couldn't have.
Yeah. What do you
Oh.
mean?
No, I didn't, because I did. Oh, with the pink background and the flowers?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I've got the other ones too. If you want me to bring them in.
I like because I was going to buy 2 or 3 other ones. I like them.
All right. I'll bring
Because,
them
you know, I send cards to people. They like the cards.
in. Good.
So, you know, when they go, where'd you get these cards? I go, oh, some local artist. But anyway, and even if you see the number down at the bottom of the screen, don't call until I'm finished with the, today they're interesting facts. They're not really fun facts because when you hear the subject, there's really nothing fun about it. All right, but let's start with the inspirational quote. Life is a series of choices. To make great choices, you must first become very clear about why you are making them. Right? Instead, you know, think about it. It makes perfect sense. Some people, what we were talking about earlier, right, they make lousy choices
Right.
because they don't really think why they're making them, right? So that's the story. So one more time. Life is a series of choices, and it is, look, because it was a choice to type this down and print it out so I could read it now, right? Life is a series of choices. To make great choices, you must first become very clear about why you are making them. And this is Matthew Kelly, Perfectly Yourself. I get emails every day from, I don't know, it's like, it's Catholic, but they sell books and stuff. And this, you know, to promote books, they have like these, you know, little quotes. If you like this quote, check out this book. So, but I like the quote. I haven't checked out the book. And so, it's not interesting facts. We should just say facts. So, because pay attention today. These are facts you might want to pay attention to. The facts today are about Satan. And when I say Satan, you could interpose, is that the word I'm looking for? Interpose Satan
Yeah.
with Islam, because it's, especially when I get to number 5, pay close attention, you'll see all the similarities. All right, this is facts about Satan. Fact number 1, Satan is God's opponent, not God's opposite. Did you ever think of it that way?
It could be, yes.
Yeah. Satan is not omnipresent. What's that mean? Always present.
Always present.
That's what I thought. He can't be present everywhere at the same time. When you are tempted or attacked by Satan, it may not be Satan himself. It is most likely one of his fallen angels or demons, and there's a lot around. Because I know people that are,
Possessed.
well, no, not possessed, but they're sort of, what's the word I'm looking for, that are influenced by fallen angels or demons. Okay, along with that, he is not omnipotent. While he does have power and is truly powerful, he is not all-powerful. There are limits to his power and ability. That was fact number 1. Fact number 2. We all know this, just like, instead of Satan, you could put Mohammed in here. It's the same thing. Satan is a liar. Satan only speaks one language, the language of lies. In fact, he is incapable of speaking truth because, as Jesus said, there is no truth in him. Everything about his influence in this earth is all about lying. It started with Adam and Eve in the garden, and it continues to this day. It does.
Oh, yeah.
Here's satanical fact number 3. Again, you can interchange this with Islam or Muhammad. Take your pick. Satanical fact number 3. Satan is a deceiver. Satan works in the art of deception. He works hard to get you to believe something that is not true. One of his greatest deceptions is convincing people he doesn't exist. When you consider many of the cults, false teachings, and false belief systems that exist in our society, they all flow out of satanic deception. Especially all the college campus crap now. That's it's all deception and lies. They don't have a clue. Satanical fact number 4. Satan mimics what God does. He is a great actor and knows how to play the part. But remember, his goal is deception. He will try to come as an angel of light, but within him is great darkness, so beware. Satanical fact number 5. Pay close attention. Again, interchange the names. Satan is a thief. Satan is very singular in his motives. His first desire is to rob you of eternal life by keeping you from understanding the truth of the gospel. And when you think about it, he does, and sadly a lot of people believe him. Anyway, he does not want people to really know the truth of who Jesus is and turn to him for salvation. Because what does one religion do? They threaten you with death and torture and maim you if you do. So if that's not satanical, I don't know what is. Satan work. However, if he can't do that, his next goal is to steal your vision, kill your faith, and destroy your purpose. He works hard to keep the message of the gospel from people because he knows this is truly their only hope. Think about it. And last but not least, satanical fact number 6. Satan only defeats you if you allow him to. You have the power over Satan's influence on you. Despite all his power and trickery, despite his ability to mimic and deceive. Remember, Satan can attack, and I know people that he has, and they don't repel him. He can wage war against you. He can bring all the forces of darkness against you, but he can't overtake you unless you allow it. You have rights, you have power, you have authority. God has positioned you in the earth for this exact moment in time. And it's not by accident
No.
or coincidence.
It's, I just received 7 DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
It's from a preacher.
Yeah.
And
Excuse me.
he, on these DVDs, they're very interesting.
Uh-huh.
They're going by government documents
Yeah.
of UFOs and people who have been abducted all around the world. What happened to them, what these aliens/demons said to them. And this preacher said, after looking at all 7 DVDs,
Uh-huh.
sit and think about it. Are these so-called, quote, aliens, are they really demons? After watching, I've got one more to go, but it goes into depth about the stories. And they have interviews with people from NASA and scientists and engineers, pilots that have come across these so-called aliens, flying saucers, UFOs, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I've come to the conclusion that they are demons because they pretty much all around the world, even though they're different languages, when these aliens, demons, whatever, speak, they don't move their lips. They can telepathically communicate with human beings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can manipulate you. They're very strong, even though they're thin, they're tall. And it's funny, they all have these huge heads, big eyes, and a fairly thin frame. And they're anywhere from 4 feet to 8 to 9 feet tall. They basically all look alike. They keep telling people, we're here to help you.
Like the government.
We're here to get you through this mess, and we're going to stick with you and get you through, and you'll be okay, and when the time is right. So I've come to the conclusion, I did a couple paintings. I'll bring that other one back on the show if you want me to sometime. It's a big 16 by 20 canvas. And I come to the conclusion that I believe they're demons too. The way they act, the questions that they ask, what happened to this one guy, he had been abducted, then they released him. Well, one night he's trying to go to sleep, and his wife wakes up, they're in bed sleeping, and wakes him up, and he looks and he sees this alien or demon, whatever, standing at the foot of his bed, and he just keeps floating and coming toward him. So his wife is really sick and tired of it. So they both bring out one word that scared this creature, and he disappeared, and that was Jesus. The word Jesus.
Yeah, so they're
us.
demons.
And so this guy says, immediately when my wife and I said this, and then they had an interview and talked with the wife and the husband later, and they said the same thing. As soon as they said, "Oh Lord Jesus, help us," that creature just disappeared. They can walk through walls. They have all kinds of power. The only thing that comes to my mind, well, not the only thing, but I wonder why they need a craft to move around in. I believe they're real, but I also believe that they're demons. And if you listen to the government, these people, it takes them years before they're even allowed to say anything, because the government will be knocking right on their door. And so there's been instances, and not only here in the United States, but also Russia, was a couple other places. Whenever they would have an exercise in getting ready to launch missiles or pretend that they were going to launch missiles, UFOs that appeared over the missile site could shut down all the power, all the computers, the backup, everything dead, so that man couldn't continue with the experiment. In other words, it's like, okay, we're going to, if getting ready for an attack on the United States, so are we ready with our missiles? So they get them all set up. Of course, they're not going to, fire them or anything, but it's just the idea that all the electricity, all the everything just fell. When they left the area, it came back. So some scientists and engineers are trying to figure that out. There's been too many pilots, not only in the United States, but China. There was a Chinese guy that was an airline pilot in China, and he was speaking English, and he was talking about his experience. And there were a lot of people from the Air Force, especially pilots, that could only say so much. This one guy from NASA, he said, and he's talking to the preacher, and he said, "I'm going to be truthful with you and tell you everything that I know up to a point, because if I go outside that boundary, I worked for the government for 30 years, but they know where I live, and they'll knock on my door and they'll say, 'What are you talking about?'" So he had to be real careful, because there's things that are classified that he's just not allowed to talk about. But the thing that really got me was that all these beings look pretty much alike, with the large heads and the eyes. One they had on there was really interesting, and it happened in Russia during a recess for the kids that were at school, and they tried to deny it, saying, "Oh no, it never happened," but they photographed it and videographed it. And then finally they could only show some of it, because the Russian government said, "No, you can't see this, you can't see that." But it goes to show you that whatever these creatures are, they're not here for our good. They're not here to help us. They're not here to keep mankind alive, because a lot of times they were telling people, without us, you'll wipe out your human race, and without us, you're not going to be able to do this. And you put that kind of together, and it's...
And you come out with this.
Basically, it's Satanism.
Yeah.
And the preacher, he made a good point by saying that these creatures have caused other people, when people have a meeting and are abducted, they form an occult club. And it's just very, very interesting. Very interesting. Because you can sit down and you think, oh, this only happened in the United States. But then when the doors open, you'll find out this happens all over the world. South
does.
America, Russia, China, Japan, Europe. There's all kinds of stories that are backed up by the government. They just had some in Mexico, and they tried to cover it up, but people got out there and said, look, I took the video, it's my video, you don't have any right to take my video. And they finally showed it. But when pilots say that these things, in their estimation, some of them can fly 16,000 miles an hour, like a light.
Yeah.
And
That's fast.
He said that's supernatural, and it just makes you think. Makes you think because we're all brought up with Twilight Zone and creatures from space and get your imagination going, and the more movies
It
you
does.
see. But then when you look at it from another perspective, you kind of think twice about it. Like I really, myself personally, believe they're demons, and they're not here for our good at all. And the thing is, in this last 10 years, there's more sightings now than ever.
And see, I hardly hear about them anymore. But when I was a kid, it was on the newspaper. I can remember my parents used to get the Daily Record, and then it changed to the Record American, whatever. It was the Daily Record, and I can remember that all the time reading stories about UFOs and that. I can remember one time, I forget where it was, Greater Boston, and it was this kid's, what was it, like, I don't know, an 8 or 10-year-old kid. It was a little kid, and he's telling him how to draw this UFO that he says it woke him up, it hit the side of the house. I always remember that. And, but I don't hear about them anymore like you used to.
Remember Roswell, Mexico, 1946?
Well, I've heard the stories. I wasn't around back then, but.
Now, the farmer that found the wreckage,
Yeah.
and then shortly after that, before he could do anything, the government was right there. Stay away from the craft, do this, do that. Now, there's all kinds of stories that they found a couple of the aliens on the ship. So again, you say to yourself, okay, if they're demons, they can transform and transfigure into anything. So why would they be physically dead? That's another question that comes to my mind. Even though I believe they're demons.
If they're demons, then they're still spiritual. So they're physically dead, but they're not spiritually dead.
Well, what I'm saying is, if these physical bodies can go through walls.
Oh, I get you. Yeah.
You see what I mean? Then why is that physical body laying there? I don't know. They won't tell you the truth.
No, they won't.
We just had a government, a Senate meeting, committee meeting with this, and the government, I watched it on the internet. The guy from the government was skating around, but this is what he did say. That yes, there have been physical bodies recovered, and they're non-human, but they're not going to show people. So why tell people half the truth and leave them dangling on the other? This is what I mean about this world. I believe if every top scientist and engineer from around the world, you could get to the bottom of this if they would just tell the truth. And this guy from the government, I mean, when he said, yes, we do have physical evidence and bodies. So that makes me think right there, what's going on? It's still perplexing. So it's just like, are we ever going to know the truth? This government's been lying to us for 70 years. You know, I mean,
That's right.
if this is
Yeah.
true, why don't they just come out and say, okay, this is it? Then the Russians, the Chinese, the Americans, the Europeans, we could all get together, put our information together, and come up with something. Just like if we really wanted to, don't you think that we could cure cancer by now?
Well, I agree with you on that, and you know why they ain't finding a cure for cancer.
Money.
Yeah, lots, that's right. Billions and billions and
Yeah,
billions.
it's just like this COVID. There's some people I see them are wearing their mask again.
Ah,
Getting
That-
ready, you know. I mean, that was one of the worst times in the last a year and a half. This went on,
it was the largest compliance experiment ever
Yeah.
conducted.
and that's all it was to see if we're going to do it, and study us and find out how we react.
Exactly.
What they did to people in China. I mean,
Wow, yeah.
they nailed them into their apartments. They couldn't get out. Some of them starved to death. But then again, that's another view of human life. When we start aborting babies like we are, there's something wrong there. Very, very wrong. That shows me that human beings are becoming less and less value.
They are. And if I, Anthony, because you just brought it up, I want to see if I can get the politician's name. It's a 30-second spot, and I think everyone should watch it. Anyone who thinks abortion is not murder.
Well,
If you watch this spot, it's just unbelievable. Okay, I'll tell you who it is. It's she's a Democrat running for president, mind you, and the ad starts off about how she don't ever vote for a pro-abortion Democrat, and she says because this is what they believe in and they stand for. And it shows, it's very graphic. It shows 3 aborted fetuses. One of them, the eyes are open and everything. It'll look like a 3-month-old baby. And then there were 2 other ones that were, I mean, really graphic. But I can watch it on my iPad, but for some reason on here, it wants me to open a X account, which I don't have a clue how to do. But it might be, hold on.
is that Elon Musk X?
Yeah, I can't, you know me in technology. But I think well, I'll read you the link if anybody's got the nerve to watch it. It's https:// x.com/Mary, capital MARY, Marge, capital MARG, Olahan, capital OLOHAN, /status /1734333433783628909. I would say anybody especially these young things, they think it's
Yeah.
they think it's nothing. They
Well-
should watch that 30-second spot.
I'm
Let's
looking
do-
at what's going on with robots, AI,
Yeah.
and they're already predicting that AI is eventually going to take over 300 million jobs,
And then what are people going to, that's why the elitists want to,
depopulate.
right, get rid of the farms.
You know, a lot of
and-
people say that when they hear me say that, yeah, see, I tell my friends, you got to be a little open-minded.
Yes, you
Can't
do.
be naive
No.
to say that we're not heading for some kind of socialistic government, because we are. It may not turn overnight, may not be for the next 5 or 10 years, but that's where we're headed.
Well, I think we're pretty close to it now, Anthony,
Yeah.
when you look at it.
Yeah, it's getting, plus the idea of digital money. Now they're saying that the Federal Reserve has already put some digital money out. It's a test. That means that you'll never see your money. You'll be walking around going like this, like we are today, because there's not going to be any cash in your wallet. There's not going to be any cash at the bank. It's all going to be computer. And they're already having problems with AI, artificial intelligence, robots that are manning, if you want to use the word manning,
Robot.
computers
Yeah.
that are already stealing people's ID and giving them to other AI robots.
Wow.
So you got to say to yourself, and it showed a clip inside a factory.
Yeah.
It's all robots. They're walking, just like, and they're lifting car parts up and whatever it is, and they're all working. And they're all machines. They're all AI robots. But, you sit there and think, okay, I won't be alive when it's fully implemented.
Thank God.
Because
It's a scary thought.
it's a sad thing where we're headed. It really is. I mean, it's wonderful to think, okay, you can have some robots take over dangerous jobs. I could understand that. But it's like at McDonald's. There's 2 McDonald's in California, and this is a couple of months old. I just read about it again today. They're getting $20 an hour. That's the minimum wage. It's up from $7.25 up to $20.
Yeah.
So this guy that owns the McDonald's, he said, I can't keep the employees I have. I have to get rid of them. Not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah.
And he said, eventually, if things get worse, I'm going to have to get rid of everybody, and I'm going to have to go purely high tech. Now, these 2 McDonald's and another 2 McDonald's, they've already got robots that take your order, robots that fill, and robots that deliver it to your table.
Wow.
So they don't need people. And it's getting worse, and people say, oh, that's a fairy tale. No, it's not.
No, it isn't a fairy tale.
I worked for General Motors way back in '68.
Wow. What'd you do for them?
I made starters, worked on their assembly line. We made
Where?
starters, Anderson, Indiana.
Oh.
It was the largest factory establishment in the world.
Wow.
We had 22 plants. They were there way before the Second World War. They're not there now. General Motors moved out of Indiana and left Anderson, Indiana, according to my friends that still live there, pretty much a ghost town. Chrysler ruled northern Indiana. General Motors ruled the mid and the southern part of Indiana as far as employment. Thousands of people, thousands, would go to work 3 shifts at General Motors. But I remember the machinery they had back then that was so far advanced. Robots. Reach out, grab a part, put it on the assembly line. They were machine robots back then. So I can imagine what's going to happen in the future. When I saw that last night, I'm going, wow. I mean, they move just like humans. They got legs, arms, they lift things up. They're not going to look, they don't have to pay them. They don't have life insurance. They don't have to take out Social Security.
No vacation.
No.
I know.
But people, what are they going to do? That's why I know that they're trying to depopulate the world. I don't care what they say. There's no doubt in my mind. What are they going to do with hundreds and millions of people? Right now, we got 6 billion on the planet, and they want to get rid of it. And according to the George Stone guides, they only want 2 billion on the planet. That's why they push for birth control and push abortion. Plus the food we're going to be eating, they want us to eat bugs.
Right, they want to
future.
kill all the cows.
Yeah.
They want to take away all the farmland.
Yeah.
I know. It's unbelievable.
It's sick. It is sick. I mean, a cow, they slaughtered, how many? Was it a couple months ago that they supposedly slaughtered?
Yeah.
And didn't use the meat or anything else?
Yeah, they didn't.
You
They
know,
just,
I mean, now you've got GMOs, genetically modified organisms in your food.
I always read the packages, but it's so much stuff you pick up contains GMO.
Right. And the earth itself, the soil, once you put this GMO into the soil, you have to use their seeds or nothing will grow.
Wow. Huh.
So if you're going to have us eating insects in the future, and by the way, by the year 2024,
Where they are
later
now.
on this year,
Yeah.
Scandinavia, I think it was Scandinavia, has a huge factory that's already processing the protein from insects.
What?
And they're going to be moving to the United States and open it up again. So be prepared. I mean, I'm at that age now. I'm 74. I don't know. In a way, I'm lucky. I don't really want to be alive when a lot of this stuff comes out.
Me either.
But this isn't.
Yeah.
This isn't science fiction. This is reality. I mean, human beings are being lowered in importance every day. Every single day. Robots are taking over, computers are taking over. They don't need that many people anymore.
Right, they just wanted to discard them like after you've eaten an apple. Just
Bye-bye. Yeah.
toss it away.
I mean, you wouldn't think about doing that. I mean, we've had wars so that we could live in America. We've had our own trauma, our own bad spots and areas and times. We all have.
Yeah.
But to sit here and say, like this World Economic Forum with Klaus Straub or whatever his name is there, and they've got it all figured out. They're going to have so many people on the planet. You got the Chinese are buying up our farmland like you wouldn't believe.
They are.
And
they
Bill
are.
Gates is buying it up so he
Yeah.
can control some of it. And it's going to be quite the mess. I wonder, and then like General Mills, they got caught putting chemicals that don't belong in anybody's food in their cereal. General Mills.
But they've been doing this for years, Anthony.
Well, I don't know about that, but I'm just saying this isn't working. This isn't what you think of when you think of America. I mean, you may say, okay, that'll go fine in a banana republic, but this is America. Well, my prediction is this, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't care if I don't want to offend anybody, but
Hey, if you do, you do. Who cares?
I honestly believe deep down in my heart and soul that if Donald Trump is not elected in 2024 in that White House, you can kiss this country goodbye.
Oh, no question about it. No question about
Kiss
it.
it goodbye. It's gone.
It's practically gone now. Let's face it. Doesn't have far to go before it's over the edge.
I mean, I never thought, and all this is happened in the last almost 4 years of the Biden administration.
Right. Well, I mean the
mean-
last 4 years of the Obama administration.
Obama's another clown. But,
He's another anti-everything.
yeah, anti-America.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I look at it this way. We've had wars to keep this country going, and it's not perfect. But I'd rather live here than any other place in the world.
Everyone in the world would want to live here.
But
Everyone
that's why
in the world
they're
would
coming
want to
here.
live here.
But that, and they get everything for free. But when they start talking about, well, they're going to give Obamacare for free to these people, and they may be giving them Social Security. That's kind of scary to me because I'm living on Social Security. They take my Social Security, where am I going to go? Elm Street?
Right, yeah, and I'll be right along with you.
You know, I mean, come on.
Well, because all the politicians and all the federal employees, government employees, they have their own retirement system. It's not associated with Social Security. So, they passed the Refugee Act, which people don't realize, I don't know how many years ago, and it entitles the refugees to our Social Security. And people say, no, no, no. But because I was a court reporter for years and years and years, I'd go in depositions, and these people, they were coming up from Brazil. This, I'm going to say, 15, 20 years ago. Illegals coming up from Brazil. I can remember one in particular was a female. She comes up, she gets a job with the Chelsea schools. A janitor, maintenance, right? She's on the job 3 days. She's sweeping the hallway, and she falls down the stairs. No, she can't work anymore. She goes on SSDI.
For the rest of her life.
Right? And what does she do? Of course, and it's against the law to ask them, if they're here legally or not. I think if they're here illegally, it should they shouldn't be entitled to this stuff.
Right.
But anyway, and so what does she do? As soon as she gets on SSDI, what does she? All of a sudden, she's planning on going back to Brazil. Why? Because she's going to live like a queen for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
But it's a joke, but that's what Americans, they're dumb. And, as I always say, you can't be dumb if you want to be free, but, they just sit back and everything is hunky-dory.
Yeah.
And
Well, like I said, I'm 74 years old, and I was brought up different. I have different values. I look at what I see today with these young kids and not wanting to work, and they're lazy, and it's just like,
well,
oh my God. And they have no respect for other people. I've noticed that when you go into like Dunkin' Donuts a couple times there. I mean, the people that work there, they have no respect. They could, here's your damn donuts. Get out of here.
Right.
I mean, that's their attitude.
It is, but when we were kids growing up in school, you learned about the Constitution. We were in America. You learned about how to be proud and to love your country and all that it stood for, and this and that. And it was none of this race baiting stuff,
Yeah.
right? It was we're all Americans. We all had equal opportunities, and I'll take anyone on about that. Yes, it is true. I don't care what color your skin is, where you come from, where you live. You all have the same opportunities.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't want to take advantage of them, don't blame me because you're claiming you're a different ethnicity or you have from a different cultural background. It's a crock. But the difference is now, what do they do? But now they're telling you go to school, they're telling black kids to hate those kids because they're white, and they're telling the white kids to hate yourself because you're white. They're telling you to hate your country because, even we're all created equal, although some people are more motivated than others. So, they tell you to hate the motivated people because obviously, the more motivated you are, the more you produce, and the more you produce, hey, it's like it's a bigger investment. The more you invest, the bigger the return. They hate that because they just want to sit back, and it's just like in California, what you were talking about earlier, the $20 minimum wage for, welcome to McDonald's, what can I get you? And that's what it is. It's just, you can't, like, in school sports, no more sudden death. You can't play. It's not sudden death anymore. God forbid you mention that. But it's everybody's, whether they win or lose. Everybody. There's no winners or losers. Everybody gets the trophy because just for participating. Well, it doesn't work that way.
No.
And that's the difference.
This, it's all this is thrown at us. It's just like 2022, when all the riots were going on in the cities, and I'll go ahead and say this too. I mean, it's a fact. All the states and the cities were run by Democrats.
That's
and,
true.
You know, you sit here and you go, okay, now you want the police to stand down and let them riot.
Yeah.
And if the police do anything, they're put in jail themselves.
I know. That's
Yeah, I know.
unbelievable.
Can you imagine Manchester with no police department?
I know.
Come on.
I know.
You,
Well, and
you think there's drugs in it now?
I know. Obama started that, the war on cops with remember the black guy in Cambridge, the professor at Harvard or whoever he was, sets his alarm off, so the cops show up, and he refuses to prove who he is. You know, it's like, but that's what gets me. Because of the color of your skin, you're not privileged, we're equal.
You're playing a race card there. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, you know how many billionaires and millionaires, blacks there are in this country?
Ask Oprah.
Yeah.
Ask, what he changed his name to Ye now, right? Kanye West, what's he called, Ye?
Kanye West, yeah.
Yeah. He's a
another-
billionaire. Yeah, he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
What's his name? Sean Combs,
Combs, yeah.
Diddy, whatever. I don't know what he goes
The
by
one that's
now.
involved in the sex thing there with,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but see, he won't endorse Biden, so now he gets all of a sudden all these people filing these charges against him.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And what's his name's going to be next? The God. Do you ever see him? He's some
Who?
black. The God. THA God.
Was he involved in,
No, but he already now they've asked him. The Democrats have asked him to endorse Biden, and he won't.
Good.
So you'll see charges coming up against him soon. I'm
yeah,
just saying.
It's a shame this country is
And
what
they'll
it
be
is.
coming after us, Anthony, too, and by the way.
Well, you know, the Bible says in the end days they're coming after Christians and Jews. And
Well,
look
they
what they're
certainly
doing.
are. Well, especially, if they do, let's face it, if
Yeah.
they do the digital currency, forget, you're a Christian, no food for you this month.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Want me to talk about this for a little bit?
Yes.
This
She
is
brought this fantastic piece of art here, this wonderful, I love the colors, but
well,
take it away.
this is one that I worked on my show today, and I've laid the background. I'm going to keep this. I will finish on the show. It's going to take 3 or 4 shows probably, because I want to put what it looks like now, what it's going to look like by the time I'm done with it, is going to be, well, different than what I've ever done. I'm handling the paint differently. I'm more loose with it, but I'm thinking about putting, nature is a part of it. In fact, I think I'll call it the magic of nature. And I'm going to have some exotic butterflies in there, maybe a hummingbird. I don't know yet, but it's going to happen. Then I'm going to play with the background a little more, and I want it to be like how should I say it? Kind of magical, kind of like poof, here it is. You know, I've got a lot of ideas, but this I'm going to keep it and build on it, and I'm going to decide what I'm going to put in it real soon instead of just talking about it, because I opened up my closet and there's 15 paintings in there going, finish me, finish me. So I have to shut the door so I don't hear them.
And you just started this when, today?
Today, yeah.
Wow.
I just wanted to get loose, be loose, and use this as a background, because I'm going to have leaves and, all this stuff that's floating around in my head. I'm going to
Yeah.
capture it and
Good.
put
Yeah.
it right there. But I think it's going to be a good painting. Then I'll have it photographed and see what I can do getting it on Facebook. And
I have a question for you, Anthony. You
Sure.
know when you're doing this artwork, right? Mm-hmm. How much of it do you do? Because before you staple it to the frame.
I buy these the way they are. They're already stapled.
Oh, all
Yeah.
right. I thought because I see it that I thought that was you.
No, a lot of artists still do that. But they've got the room, they've got the tools. See, I don't. I live in where I live. They're very strict on what you can and cannot do. And
That's everywhere, I think.
yeah, but this is housing, and they're very, that's too cluttery, and this is too cluttery, and But I buy them like this. It's easier for me. But I've got some canvases that I'm gonna paint them all. I don't care how long it takes me, and just go from there. This is a size like with the crafters that I belong to.
Yeah.
They don't have a whole lot of room. It's the old library made in 18 something, 70 or 85 or someplace.
Where, in
like that.
Manchester?
No, it's in Bedford. It's the very first library that Bedford had.
Oh,
It's well over 150 years old.
Wow, that's
But
old.
it's it's got the original ceilings, walls, everything. But I'm going to limit myself on the size of paintings that I put in because there's just not a whole lot of room.
What-
So
yeah.
I'll do 8 by 10s and 11 by 14s, or maybe even 9 by 12s.
And what size is this?
That's 11 by 14.
I like that size. Now, what's your estimate? You think you're going to finish this in how many shows?
Or I'd say maybe 3 or 4.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to take a while.
And do you already have like a color scheme to use, or is that like play by play?
I'm going to build
for
on
lack of a better
on
term.
this.
I like it already. I like the way it blends.
Yeah, I'm going to put leaves. It's going to be like vegetation coming out.
And actually now I see 2 people there.
Well, one's hiding behind a tree. But
Come on, look.
look at that. Face.
Wow, but that looks mummified to me. That one looks mummified. These don't. Those, especially look at this one. And if you look at it long enough, it even changes, Anthony. See, I'm telling you, the best artist east of the Mississippi he's not even aware of his capabilities here.
I'm a nut.
But I do.
Oh, you didn't get a phone call from the energy lady.
No, or Mary or Gina.
Yeah.
I know.
Probably taking naps.
Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I like getting together like that, going out and eating once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Mary told me, but I worked yesterday, so that was
Yeah.
the end of that. We should go back to Mr. Max.
Mr. Max, what's that?
The mac and cheese place.
Oh, they're in Hudson.
On Webster Street. No, they're in Manchester. We went there. Just past Puritan on the
Oh,
right.
yeah, on the right, yeah.
That's pretty. I like it there.
Yeah, we'll see what this develops into.
Yeah, I'm
something-
curious myself.
See, it'll all pour out of this sphere.
Yeah.
It'll all, it's just nature. We'll see what happens.
All right. Yeah, because I'm going to put some thoughts in your head now, and we'll see if it works. If my thoughts sort of penetrated, you'll like I'm not a demon, though. you know, telepathically communicating what you're about.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. I'm not a demon.
So, but your show's on every other Tuesday, right? I mean Wednesday.
No, I do my show twice a month.
On what day?
Wednesday,
At what time?
2:00.
Till 2:30?
Yeah. It's only a half hour. I thought about going for an
And
hour.
what's the name
but
of your show? Tell them.
Art Expressions, Channel 8. And gosh, I've been doing it a little over 15 years now.
Wow.
Well, it's a part of my life, you know. One
Part
thing
that you
I
love,
just
yeah.
I mean I do. I love it. I'm lucky I'm still able to paint, and I don't want to give it up.
I don't blame you. I don't like giving up stuff that I love to do
I'm
either,
still
like the,
Yeah.
you know, readings.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it. So.
I'm still teaching at William Cashin. I'm only there twice a month now until things pick up.
Wow.
But, well, during the winter, things slow way down because people go to Florida, the older people,
Right.
that, you know, they don't want to go through anymore.
Right, I know a
cold
lot of
winters
people, yeah. And we
Yeah.
don't have much time left. Look, only a couple of minutes, so. Art Expressions,
Art Expressions, Channel 8, yep.
2 to 2:30?
2 to 2:30 is when I shoot. You'll have to look up the calendar. Look up, was it Manchester Public TV?
Yeah.
And it'll give the times, the days.
Oh, for the that it's rerun?
Yeah, I got to write them down because I usually don't watch my own shows, but the next time I come on, I'll bring a card and tell people what day and what time.
All right, so there you have it. I want to thank my super guest today, Anthony. Thanks for coming on. It's always interesting. Great conversation. Check out his show and watch the progress. He might even be finished before 4 shows.
Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe, right. Anyway, and I'm David B., the reading guy, 603-404-9338. And you have any questions, comments, suggestions, Biffid, BIFFID, at yahoo.com. And please, 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 2 things to remember. 1, you can't be dumb if you want to be free. And more importantly, you are a winner.